Hey there, it's Jen and I'm here with a process video for you. I know it's been a while. This is part of a YouTube hop for Sara Scrap's YouTube channel. It's been 5 years for her being on YouTube, so we're celebrating that. There's lots of awesome people in the lineup, so be sure to check it out, and there's a giveaway. I'll leave details in the video description below, as well as links to the other people who are playing along. But Sara said we could do whatever we wanted. So today what I'm going to do is I'm pulling some products that I've had in my stash for a while that I haven't gotten around to, that I just thought would be fun to play with. So I am using, let me show you, I have a few pictures from a weekend trip that we took, and then I'm using my layering circles stamps, which is this one. They're available in my shop. I'll link to it below if you want to try it out. I think I'm going to use these. We'll see. I am going to use these Heidi Swapp tags. I have some little paper flowers. These are super old pink paisley memory decks little things. I thought that would be fun for layering. Some Maggie Holmes butterflies from the Heritage Collection. Magical Forest coppery alphabet stickers, and then these are just a couple of pieces from old Felicity Jane kits, and then I have this Splendor chipboard from My Mind's Eye, and then in addition to that I just have my stash bin. This is all the stuff that's in my stash, so I'm like, I'm gonna get rid of this, I'm gonna put it in this box, and I'm gonna try to use it, and if I don't use it, then it goes away. So some of this stuff is getting ready to be cleared out of here because I haven't used it, but this is for me to fall back on for anything else that I might need. So that is where I'm starting, and I will talk you through the process.
All right, so I pulled a bunch of papers to possibly use for the background of my layout. I'm going to trim down my photos first. So I made these fairly small. I wanted to include a bunch, but I also wanted this page to have a lot of open space. And so my photos are 3x4 and then about 2x3s. And then I'm trying to decide which background I want, but before I do that, I'm going to pick out the pieces that I want to use from all of the embellishments that I pulled out at the beginning, and I'm kind of going to determine which ones I want to use kind of based on what I decide to pull out. So I will choose my background based on these embellishments. I really wanted to use that cloud memory decks card, and so I decided, of course, I can't do the cloud background paper, so I'm going to go with this paper from Heidi Swapp's Art Walk collection, and the back of this is kind of like a pink painterly paper, but the side that I'm going to use is just kind of a distressed white, which is perfect because it has a little bit of interest, but it's not too overwhelming. As I was going through my little use it or lose it box bin thing that I showed you at the beginning of the video, I found that I had a bunch of frames in there that I wanted to get used up, and they fit perfectly around those photos. And so I'm likely going to use some of those as well. I'm trying to figure out the arrangement of my photos right now, and I decide to do it this way with one large photo on the right and then the two smaller on the left. And I just liked the way that the embellishments were able to lay out this way better. I'm going to tuck a couple of these older Project Life cards from a Studio Calico kit that's super old, and tucking those behind, kind of creating a little cluster around that main photo. And then I'm playing around with the with these chipboard floral pieces and things. And I'm also going to pull out these butterflies. So I get this all laid out and I really like the way that it looks, but when I get it placed back down later, it's going to change a little. And I feel like that always seems to happen, but I'm happy with the way that the final layout turned out, so it's all good. I wanted to use these stamps, and generally these stamps are used to create circles that you can layer, but I wanted to play around with that half circle shape, and so I am just doing the half circle with this color. I think it's called Bashful from Close to My Heart, It was one of their colors of the year, so I think it was like a temporary color. And I'm just stamping that on the background. As it dries into the paper, it will lighten up a bit. I'm also going to use this polka dot to layer over it with a really light gray color. And I really am happy with the way that looks. It's just like a subtle little thing, but it adds a lot to the background. And I did it in a vertical line so that it draws your eye to that main photo, along with the cluster that's already around the main photo. So everything is kind of drawing your eye to that place. I'm going to go ahead and put these frames on my photos, and these are adhesive backed frames, and so I'm just peeling off the backing paper and then sticking my photo to it. I think those are like a Hobby Lobby frame. I'm not exactly sure. My friend bought them and we split the pack in half. What I'm doing now is trying to figure out if that memory dex card has a backer on it. It doesn't. I was trying to peel it off with my scissors, but it didn't have one, so I just scratched off a little bit, but that's okay. I'm going to use my tiny attacher to staple these layers together, so because I know that's where I want them, and it's just easier that way than to pull everything up. I added some adhesive behind that acetate piece, and it was showing through and I didn't like it. There's still a little bit of a smudge there, but I will just deal with it, and it kind of gets covered up in the end. So I decided to map my photo on some white cardstock just because I felt like I needed a little bit of a border on it, just to make it pop a little bit more. And then I'm going to glue all of these down. I'm going to use foam adhesive on the middle photo. So I had a little bit of a mental dilemma with this one because my main photo is obviously the larger one, but then I popped up the center one because it just felt right. And so that gives it a little bit of emphasis, but I think it works out. It's all good. I'm going to put, you can see I switched the floral placement, so the larger floral ends up going on the left and the smaller one on the right. I just didn't want to cover up all of the stamping I had done, and it was going to cover it up too much, and so I just switched them out. Now I'm going to go ahead and put down the butterflies. I will put, I'm using glue dots, and I'm just going to put them down kind of near the flowers. I will do 3 because that's my jam. Rule of thirds, all that stuff, a triangle. So you can see I put them in a triangle, and that triangle surrounds the main photo as well. So I've got all this emphasis on the main photo. I've got, it's larger, it's got more of the layering and embellishment around it. I have that vertical line going down with the stamping, and then the embellishments also are in a little trio there, those butterflies to kind of draw your eye to the center. That's and then the last thing I'm going to do is put this Good Life chipboard piece on top of the photo, and that's going to draw your eye there even more. So right now I am looking for some paper. This is a Boardwalk, and I wanted some, well, first I'm looking for an alphabet, but I'm also going to look later for some wood grain paper to include as an accent on here. I just thought that would be good to bring in that wood element, but I will do that in a little bit. So I'm going to pull out some wax paper, and I'm going to get my title down using these alphabet stickers that I pulled out from the crepe paper magical, what is it called? Magical Forest collection. And I'm just spelling out Bear Lake Boardwalk and putting that down, trying to decide if the placement's going to be right, if I want to center it, or how I'm going to do it. I feel like this works pretty well, so I'm just going to put those letters down. I'm slightly, barely overlapping that top row with that polka dot tag just so it ties the two together. I feel like you could either nestle it right below it or overlap it slightly. I decided to go ahead and overlap it. And then after I do that, I'm going to go ahead and I think now I'm going to look for those papers. I do decide to add a little bit of stamping from that circle stamp set, the layering circles. I said this, the one I just stamped below the title says, "This is so good." Later, I will stamp, "Yep, yes, yeah," as well. And then these little freckled fawn vellum stickers were in my little bin of use it or lose it stuff, and I'm just going to place those on some of the circles, and then I'm going to go ahead and get my journaling down before I do my final embellishment. You can see right now I have a lot of white space going on. I wanted a lot of white space. The photos are kind of light and airy, and so I wanted to kind of keep that feel. I'm using my favorite black Muji pen to just write out this journaling, and it's really easy to write over those stamped circles, which is nice, but I still get the pop of color from them. I'm going to stamp the date below my journaling, and then that's when I decided I need some more stamping towards the top, so I will stamp the yes, yep, yeah in just a minute here. I'm going to glue down these flowers. I just kind of had slid them into place, and so I'm going to glue them down. And then also these stickers needed a little bit of extra adhesive, so I'm putting some glue behind them as well. I'm really happy with the way that this is starting to look. And here's where I'm going to stamp that yep, yes, yeah. Just testing the stamp real quick. And I do off stamp it because I like that look. And I had done it on the date on the bottom, so I'm just mimicking it. And then here's where I'm trying to decide how to bring in a little bit more. So I'm going to rip a couple of strips of paper. The first one is going to be that diagonal stripe. I love a diagonal stripe as a border. It always looks good to me. And now, while I'm not doing anything here on the camera, I'm looking for that wood grain paper. And my scrap drawer is just right next to my desk. And so I knew I had a wood grain in there. So I just found this one. It's an old Pebbles paper, I believe. And I'm just going to add that there. Add some adhesive and glue those down, and then I'll kind of ruffle up the edges just a little bit, and I think that is going to finish this layout. So, I do add a little bit of Heidi Swapp Gold Color Shine. I haven't used that stuff in quite a long time, so I thought it would be fun to add it here. I'm going to sprinkle it kind of up and down along where the photos are, and that is going to finish this up. So I hope that you enjoyed watching this process. Be sure to head over to all of the different people that are in this YouTube hop for Sara Scraps. Congrats to her on 5 years on YouTube. That is awesome. I love the YouTube community, and I hope to see you back here on my channel again very soon. Here are a couple other videos you might like, and let me know if you have any questions. I will try to link to all of the products I used in this video in the description below. Thanks for watching. See you again soon.